Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about Episode 5, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3, on Paramount+. The episode entitled, Through the Lens of Time. We open with Dana Gamble narrating a medical officer's log. As soon as he said, "After today, I know my life is never gonna be the same again." I was like, oh no! Can I mat this guy mid-episode? Oh yeah. So, goodbye.
We hardly knew ye.
Yeah, exactly. So we end with the inevitable Gamble getting killed. He's first possessed by an evil spirit. Then Pelia shoots him. Scotty then traps the evil spirit in the transporter pattern buffer. Pelia gives an ominous warning about the Vesda, the parasitic beings trapped in this well on the planet, saying that if any of them escape, God help us all. We then end with M'Benga calling Gamble's parents with the bad news as he walks away from the readout of the Vesda lifeform in the buffer pattern. The screen glitches, suggesting the Vesda is perhaps still functional, perhaps able to take over the ship, yet to be seen, likely by the end of the season. All that said, Paul,
Matt,
what'd you think of Episode 5?
I enjoyed it. I did. I think the crew, when they were down there, and the little, what we're in different dimensional spaces, ooh, and all that. I liked that. It was a little, it's like, I want to like Corby. I do. But...
well, the good news is you don't have to like him for long. But okay, anyway, go ahead.
But, I think they wanted me to dislike when they were saying, well, we should just go outside and communicate what's happened so far.
Oh, right.
And he was like, what? I don't want to do that. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
They needed that so that the story could have its conflicts. But you're right. In that setting, maybe even have one person stay outside so that you could at least then have like a form of content, whatever.
Right. I mean, I've heard somebody say how, actual survey teams would be like, okay, we've seen it. All right, now let's see what our next move is going to be before, like, no, let's just keep going. Let's keep going right now.
I'll also say, they had Ortegas' brother with a drone.
Yes.
Okay. Here's a way we can safely look at this stuff. Send the drone around. Yeah. Oh, okay, got it. All right, bye. But yes, no. You got to have the Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade style leap of faith.
But this is how they set the breadcrumbs. It's like, I bet Corby's the kind of guy that would put his consciousness into a robot.
It's true. Like the Corby we meet in the original series is a dick. Yeah. Really. I mean, right? I mean, he's not a good guy. Now, he's more android than human at that point. But there's a sense that, like, okay, this guy has some innate character flaws.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting to see those a little bit too. Yeah, even in that at the end when they're like, look, we got to go, and he's looking back at that artifact.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna go back and maybe try to grab it or something. Like somehow this would lead to some version of him disappearing or something. But no, he in this situation he did not. But it's coming. Yeah, what's it? Yeah, you had mentioned that you went back and checked in on the Corby episode from the original series.
Yeah.
And so you noted that Chapel and Corby got engaged, Corby went missing, and then for 5 years, Chapel was technically still engaged to Corby, but had no idea of his whereabouts. So she didn't know he was dead, but she also didn't know where he was. Like, right. he's missing, right? That's the general idea?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my interpretation, yeah.
Just know then that whenever, and I think it's coming fast, whenever he mentions going to the planet XO3, that's going to be his last appearance on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
And I noted that Gamble in his unfortunate log entry, he said he'd been on the ship for 6 months. Of course, he came in when Chapel went to work with Corby, and we know that Corby disappears in the same year that he and Chapel met. So the amount of time he has left is very finite. I mean, it could be weeks, at most a couple of months. So just the way that there's usually a time break between some of these episodes. I feel like it's the end before the end of the season. I think that's kind of a goodbye, Corby. But yeah, so do we have then a new big bad? Is that what they're doing? Like a new Borg, Gorn style character, like the Vesda? Is that what we think is happening?
I suppose, I mean, I think it's odd how Captain Batel is involved in it.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what that means. I don't know yet if I like that. At this point, I think I don't like the fact that Batel is involved. But we'll see. I mean, this whole creatures that are old and all this and...
It's kind of Lovecraftian, actually. Kind of the eldritch horror. Creatures that can possess your mind. And so, yeah, when Spock looks at one of those canisters, he gets the image, I think, of Batel's angry Gorn infant in his mind. Yeah. And then Batel has this, like, instinctive need to fight Vesda Gamble. Right. So it does feel like the Gorn and the Vesda have crossed paths at some point.
Maybe. I mean, I wondered if... the Gorn are a species that the Vesda has successfully infiltrated, and so they control, and that's why they're running around and eating people and using them as, to breed or whatever. And that if they were to be purged of the Venza or Venda, whatever they are, then they're like, do you want to make peace, Federation? Or just like, we need to be by ourselves until one of our lizard people goes to a planet to fight, I don't know, that guy's brother?
Yeah, the last remaining, I was going to say Vespa. The last remaining Vespa, Vesda-controlled Gorn is the one that Kirk has to fight. I would guess that they are some kind of mortal enemy type of things, that somewhere in the distant past. Both of them are very old cultures, and they've crossed paths at some point. Here's what I think could be happening in future. As I do feel like there's going to be more episodes where the Vesda's obviously in the ship now. I think Batel might be used as a human Gorn divining rod. In other words, hey, how do we know somebody hasn't been possessed by the Vesda? Come in here, Batel. Oh, God, they're fighting. Get away. Anyway, but, I feel like she can know without,
it's like,
any kind of reading.
Klingons and tribbles or something like...
Right, she's the tribble, exactly. Get it away. It also occurred to me, first of all, Gamble's eyeless face was fairly grotesque. But then once I figured out he was possessed, I wondered... at first, why the Vesda would destroy his eyes. It would make it easier to get around, with eyes. But then I was like, I guess the Vesda don't need eyes because he was getting around just fine. Also, the Vesda Gamble knew about Mbenga's daughter.
Yes.
And the guard's mother.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's that they can read minds and they can fuck with you. And not, I can see into the next plane and see all your relatives. I'm hoping it's not that. It does seem
coincidental. I know. It does seem coincidental that the two individuals the Vesda mentions are both in a spiritual form, perhaps, or whatever. Yeah. The mother's dead. And Mbenga's daughter has gone off and is a spiritual being.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So, yeah, that was my thought. Although he does tell the guard. The guard asks him, how do you know? And he says, or who told you is what he asks. And Vesda Gamble says, you did. That would imply I read your mind. But I don't know it did seem a little coincidental. You got a spiritual being, and it happens to know about these other spiritual beings. Are you just going to be like some, I don't know. Anything in the spirit world, I automatically have the...
medium.
So I guess it's wrong even to say that it possessed Gamble, because... we saw that Gamble's had no brain activity.
Right.
So he was...
Well, you can possess the body, not...
he possessed the body, yeah. He was a skin suit. But he wasn't there's a gamble in there. If we could just reach him, like, no, there's really no. Apparently, there was no actual gamble left. It was just the Vesda mimicking Gamble's behavior,
right?
When
using
needed to.
Yeah, its mind.
Also, the languages in the prison included apparently Chinese.
Yeah, that was odd.
So that suggests the Vesda have had contact with humans in the past, maybe even been to Earth in the past. It's weird because, obviously, canonically speaking, this is new to us, at least by that name. I can't put a different name on the Vesda and say, that's that thing.
Sure. Maybe you could put Vespa on it.
I could put Vespa on it. Yes, they invaded Italy. And specifically we're in the 20th century, and there's just like, I feel like this is going to wrap up in a way that and we never heard from the Vesda again. But what will that look like? I don't know. As I mentioned, we had the Last Crusade leap of faith moment. I liked the puzzle of like, the bridge exists in the future, so we must have activated it in the past. I would say though that if all Chapel had to do was to test the theory was take a step, why not secure her in some way? If nothing else, just hold on to her while like no, everybody back away. You step into oblivion, and we're gonna hope. I'm like, I think there's some safety things you could do. Literally testing it with a step. We were wrong. Oh, well.
Yeah, but at least we were confident about that.
Yeah, we were. I was very confident. So, yeah, the puzzle solving thing was kind of fun. The fact that they used the drone to realize they were actually in the same space, but at different times. And so that was cool. I appreciated all the puzzle solving. And they did, while they, what they did is they split off everybody into these, two-person scenes, essentially.
Yeah.
And while most of it was puzzle solving, there was at least some relationship building there. We had Uhura and Ortegas' brother. It seems like the show's trying to have maybe a romance between them.
It does seem like that
in some way. Then we had Spock and Corby, obviously as romantic rivals kind of thing.
Right.
And then we had Lon and Chapel. Anyway, it was an interesting way to split them up, and then have maybe some meaningful conversations in there.
Sure.
I thought that they might have had Chapel be put off by that Spock was in a relationship with Lon, but the show sorted that out pretty quickly. It's like, look, Chapel and Lon have a conversation. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing. I kind of like that, so it didn't feel too high schooly.
Yeah. I think. They wisely had, La'an not wanting to engage in any, WB conversation about it.
Correct.
So, she was like, we're just keeping it casual, and that's all I really want to say about that.
Yeah, and then when they get down to the planet, they kind of keep it all professional as well, which they would do in that scenario. Their lives depend on it. So all that I thought was well handled.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I don't know. I think it's perhaps I could give credit to the fact that they really built up that character they killed. They didn't build him up much, but they did something, which is more than they typically do for those people that come and get killed.
He got attacked by Spock as well. So in his short time, he was just getting attacked like crazy.
That's right. Yeah. I think it was fine in this episode, and their other appearances were fine. But in a way, it's like I don't think it really built him up that much. And maybe certainly there are enough characters on the show, so that you don't have to give him too much space. But I don't know. Looking back, I'm not exactly certain that I appreciated that. Maybe it would have been fine for me just to have some random dude that I'd never seen before get killed.
Oh, I see. Okay. A red shirt, in other words.
Yeah.
We're killed by a Vespa. So many Vespa accidents. They're death traps. I'll just say that.
What did you think of the Pelia's comedy bits?
Well, yeah, I liked the button on the end of her, really serious monologue at the end when she was like, look, God help us all if these beings, they're ancient evil, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, Oh, do you need another take? Like, in other words, I was just doing that because I wanted him to look cool on camera. I thought that was a kind of a fun little spin on the fact that she was giving this. Oh my God, who knows what can happen? So yeah, no, I liked her addition to the dialogue.
That's good.
But did you not?
No, I liked it too. I just yeah, in a way though, they had him be kind of stupid in order to, when he's saying that to the captain. Saying,
when you say him, sorry.
Oh, right, yes.
Gamble?
No. I'm talking about Uhura's brother.
Ortegas?
I'm sorry,
Ortegas'
Ortega's brother. When he's like saying, it's like, if you're a documentarian, you don't stop the action. You don't do it. Like maybe it's really different in the future, but you don't ask for takes. You don't, so that was like, kind of a little annoying in that they just wanted to set up that.
They didn't say it was a good documentary. Maybe I should look for a different career. There's an opening for a medical officer. I could be here on the ship now. Good point. But yeah, I generally like this episode as well. I think it's one of the better episodes this season. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do with this Vesda, plot line. And now throwing this out. And it's a thing that I feel like they're going to resolve here, or at least escalate here in season 3. So let's see how they handle this. So we will be back talking about episode 6, and also doing a live stream on the latest chapter of Fellowship of the Ring on Monday.
The latest
4 p.m.
chapter.
Central.
Ooh, there's a new chapter, huh?
Well, for us. So we're going in order, Paul. Not skipping around. If you have the time, come on in for that. Otherwise, we will see you next time talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.